सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै ओम शांति श्रीहरिं परमानंदम उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्। निगमाचार्य वाक्येषु भक्ति श्रद्धेति विश्रुता चित्तैकाग्र्यं तु संलक्ष्ये समाधानमिति स्मृतम्। समाधानम चित्तस्य समाधानम। Here he says, what he says, let us see. Sallakshye chitta ekagryam. A natural absorption, a disposition which allows a person to abide, to pursue the vastu, the lakshya. The lakshya is the target. What do you want to accomplish? That is the sadvastu, the reality. And the mind, it naturally goes after the vastu. In all situations, the love for this vastu, knowledge of this vastu, is so much that you don't require a particular time to think about this. We allot, time. Because the whole person is committed. An object of love is not at a particular time draws attention of the person. The attention of the person is always there because it's pervasive. The entire time it is pervasive. It's like a love lot. The object of love always is there. like a mother's love for the child. Even though the mother remembers at a feeding time, this is the time to feed the child. So she remembers at that time. Not only feeding time. It's always there, pervasive. So the whole chitta, the person's commitment to the truth is such that there is no distraction. Chittasya ekagriyam. Shravana kale. During the Shravana time, so one doesn't require to bring the mind back to the topic which has gone elsewhere. It doesn't go elsewhere. It's a natural thing, but still it has to be said. The attention span is very short for people. You try to talk to these children, especially here. It's very difficult because they're all Sesame Street children. And the Sesame Street, they're street children. So, I mean, Sesame Street. And being Sesame Street children, they have attention span only for a few minutes. Then afterwards it always switches. You can see Sesame Street. It is never the same. If they are talking about one thing, orange, and they will go away somewhere. Then they show something else and then again they will come. So this is how the children are brought up. Therefore, when I first talk to these children, in India we used to talk to the children will listen to you. And here, to keep them with you, to look at you, more than 3 minutes. That's all the span. Very difficult. So they immediately look at this and then they talk to somebody and then bright children. But samadhanam is not there. The chitta samadhanam, the attention span is very short, very bright. Span is short. So you have to talk in such a way that the children are with you. So still you can talk to them. They will be with you, but you should know how to talk to them. They are with you. It's a different way of talking. You can't talk like monotone and you just to say, then they will listen to you. That kind of a thing is not there. So you have to, that is why Shraddha, all these are there, then Chitta Samadhanam will be there. There is no distraction. Sallakshye Chitta Ekagriyam is called Chitta Samadhanam. Means a certain contentment. Here, this vairāgya is not born of disenchantment. See, that vairāgya is viveka born. And therefore, only in this, what is it that I am seeking? That clarity is viveka. Therefore, vairāgya is very big, it is. It is not disenchantment. When there is disenchantment towards the world, the mind is always restless. So even if you take to Vedanta, restlessness will continue. Because it is a disenchantment. Things have not gone your way. Nashtarajyaha, dirgarogi. So like this, the one who has lost something, and one who is a dirgarogi, his roga is not something that roga means disease, and it is dirgarogi. Disease is something not curable. He knows. Then there's a disenchantment. Why me attitude? And that person cannot have samadhana. So chitta samadhanam implies a certain contentment. A contentment must be there. So you have done with the world and you have done whatever you have done. And there is nothing interesting anymore. In the sense you have accomplished enough. And therefore your mind is towards this. It's a commitment. Therefore there is salakshye chitta aikagryam. Means that there is ekagrata. That one thing alone, whatever that is there, agre chittasya agre, what is there before the chitta, that alone is there, nothing else distracts. That is called chitta ekagryam. This is called samadhanam, born of certain contentment, not dissatisfaction. Therefore, this Vedanta Vairāgya, that is Viveka Vairāgya, is a different type of Vairāgya. So, it is vyavasayatmika buddhi. This vyavasayatmika, nishayatmika buddhi, ekeha kurunandana, bahushaka hyanantascha buddhayaha avyavasayinam. So, this is born of viveka, a certain understanding of what is what I am about. So, these things are clear. There is objectivity, and your attention, that your priorities, your attention, well, they're all, the attention is there with reference to what you want to accomplish. Attention span is not going to be short-lived. This is chitta samadhanam, born of certain contentment and understanding what I am seeking, etc. It's all very, priorities are all clear. Chitta ekagryam. Then, finally, mumukshutvam. He puts it in a very very poetic way, and because moksha ichcha should not be one of the items in the list of desires. Desire list, if you dekhne se, so if you see the list, there are so many things. I want this, I want that, and all that. The priorities are all there. Then, lastly, one in small letters, is there moksha ichcha, moksha, moksha, item, moksha. It has to climb up. I always give that London. Remember that? London airport, Air India. Air India has to take off. You come from by Air India, and in the lounge, the transit lounge, you sit there. Generally people doze off and miss the flight also. In order to draw the attention, I suppose, then every time when there is a change in the signboard, big board is there which flight takes off. And then boarding announcement. And there are different flights. Air India is not even in the board. Moksha ichcha is not there. Is not even in the board. Then it appears in the board. This is after the middle age crisis. Then it appears in the board. Bottom appears in the board. Then every other airline takes off. Lufthansa goes. All Lufthansa, British Air, all these go. Poor Air India is down below. Moksha ichcha. Then, when all these take off, every time a change takes place, boarding or something, then there is a gada 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 gada. Big sound, gada 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 gada. Then you wake up, then saw. Air India has climbed up. Because a new other, so the flight has come. So that is there down below. Some Saudi. Yeah. And then as it climbs up, Air India goes up. Then gada gada gada. Then goes up. Gada gada gada, on big gada gada gada, goes up. Then afterwards, Air India boarding, long time it takes. Boarding. For a long time, boarding. Gada gada gada, still boarding. Gada gada gada, boarding. Then take off. This is the take-off. The take-off time. That means retirement ho gaya, nothing else to do, therefore take off. Even then people don't take off. Plan for something else. Take off is a very inside take off, okay? You don't need to take off to go to India. So, I'm going to get moksha. So with the Rudrakshamala, you go to... this is all silly. Romanticism, spiritual romanticism. Go and pick up some bugs and come back. And so, it's all... and this is all. Spiritual romanticism. Nothing romantic. So quite inner affair. The priorities undergo change. There is antakarana gada gada gada. Priorities undergo change. It's true, you know. Now, say 2 weeks to take off, to come here. There are so many things drawing your attention, correct? There are a lot of things are there. Priorities are there. But all of them drop off. So your priorities undergo change. And they should undergo change. We can't, I won't say waste. There is no waste. Somebody is doing something because it's very important for that person. You cannot say it's a waste of time. It is. That's how the person utilizes his, her time. We need not make a judgment that the person is wasting his time. He's not wasting his time. He is spending his time. So, he is making use of his time. Spending his time is different. And he is making use of his time in his own way. Because he has got his own priorities. As you have your priorities, anybody has priorities. But here when we are talking of moksha, the moksha, this is a converging point of all priorities. All the priorities resolve in moksha, correct? Because all the priorities resolve in moksha. Moksha ichha is a ichha of a different nature. It is not one of the desires. It's a life's commitment. So the commitment, what all you are doing, what all you want, that is exactly what you want. So that has to be clear. When that is clear, then every other ichha has got its own place. Every desire has its own place in your life. Doesn't take away your main pursuit. And within that everything falls in its own place. So nothing becomes less important or more important. Your objective. This is also not, this is also a desire to the exclusion of all desires. That is also is not true. It's not true. That is also not true. All desires that you fulfill also may contribute to fulfill this desire. They may also contribute to fulfill this desire. And therefore, so this moksha ichha is talked about here. Samsara bandha nirmuktihi katam me syat kada vide iti ya sudhrida buddhihi vaktavyasa mumukṣuta. Vidhe. Elsewhere, I read Vibho. Vibho is better, I suppose. Vibho, O Lord, Vidhe, Vidhi and Vidhe, He Vidhe. Vidhi, if you say, the one who is in the form of dharma, the Lord is called Vidhi, He Vidhe. In the form of dharma, to be done. The one who is in the form of dharma, he is called Vidhi. Dharma Swarupa, He Vidhe. He Vibho. I read somewhere, He Vibho, the one who is all pervasive. O Lord, Vibho. This samsara bandha nirmuktihi katham me syad kada syad. Hey Prabhu, samsara bandha vinirmuktihi. This freedom from the bondage of samsara. It's an expression. So you are not bound anywhere. It's not physical bondage. You are free with your MasterCards. And therefore, so that is the bondage, okay? That is the bondage. So you are free. With your MasterCards you are free. And they allow you also to go anywhere. Come on, use your card. Use the American Express. Use the card. Free. You are free. You can go all over the world. Buy tickets. Then keep paying. Keep paying. Correct? Keep paying. So, bandha is, we should understand, is, even that is not bondage. You buy, you pay, it's okay. That's not bondage. Bondage is essence. Sense of being not at home with myself. That is bondage. So I want to get out of myself. Whenever you want to get out of, so I want to get out and do something. That means you are bored. You are bored with whom? With yourself. With yourself really. I am bored with myself. So I want to get out of myself. How to get out of myself? I have to forget myself. So there are two. Some people may love to go and see things and all that because the Bhagavad Srishti is so beautiful. So you can enjoy the Bhagavan's Srishti. Wo bhi theek hai. There's nothing wrong in that. But if one is not quite at home being oneself, that is what is called bondage. That is called samsara. So the samsara is the bandha. This bandhat vinirmuktihi, This freedom, complete, total freedom. Freedom every day is there. When you go to sleep, there is freedom. When again you come back, the same person. Therefore, it is a freedom from this sense of being limited, sense of being small, insignificant, and this sense of insecurity. These are all centered on I. That, from that vinirmuktihi, samsara bandha vinirmuktihi, katham me syat. For me, how this is going to take place. Even if you know this is how it will take place, by gaining knowledge it will take place. This katham also is very important. Katham me syat jnanena. By knowledge, you have to come to that. By self-knowledge. For that knowledge, what should I do also you should know. Because there is an organization which is called self-realization. It's an organization. Self-realization is an organization, foundation. You become a member for self-realization. And you are doing something. Some Kriya Yoga, etc., they say that you do something. And that means, so they have a commitment for self-realization. And they have already concluded that it is how it's going to be accomplished. And therefore, katham is very important. Katham karega. So, katham is important. How it is going to take place. How? How is there a particular, how? Because there are so many paths. What is your path? There are many paths. And there is a psychopath also. There are many paths. Path. And therefore, you have to know. That is why there is one katham. This samsara, first you must recognize what is samsara. Samsara is not getting away from the family. If getting away from the family is samsara, if you don't have a family, you are a mukta, which is not true. You are not a mukta. You require only you. So we have no problem. You are there means samsara is there. A samsari is each jiva. Each jiva is a samsari. And therefore, what is samsara moksha? This is a thing to be understood. What is samsara? What is moksha? How does it take place? Then even if you say self-knowledge is freedom because self is free, then how to make the self free? They will say that. A self is already free, but that is true. But how to make it free? And therefore people are confused. Then moksha experience everybody wants to have. You have to experience moksha. And therefore there is a very primary confusion, and that always has a hangover into this moksha pursuit also. Old confusion is somehow in some other form continues to come. The whole lifetime is experience hunting. And you come to spiritual field and there also you hunt for another type of experience. This experience hunting is called samsara. There is no other samsara. And every experience reveals non-dual Brahman that I am. That is moksha. Bodham prati viditam bhavati. Pratibodham viditam matam. Pratibodham, in every cognition, in every experience, unit experience, the vastu is revealed. And therefore, this katham me syat has to be very clear. There is a pramana involved. There is a means of knowledge involved. Pramana means a means of knowledge involved. Wherever knowledge is involved, means of knowledge is unavoidable. Then how to operate that means of knowledge? That's why a teacher, etc. Teacher, not etc., teacher. Etc. has meaning, mananam. That also teacher will take care of. So shravana, manana, etc., this becomes the means. All right, even if you know katham samsara bandha vinirmuktihi syat, even though you know katham iti kena margena upayena, but then kada kada when don't never ask a question when in Vedanta. There is no when, where, because you are already free. When I say you are already free, that is true. When will I become free? You are already free. When will I come to know? If you don't know, I say you are free. That is true. That means you are free. When you say that is true, then you are accepting that you are free. That means you seem to know you are free. Yeah, I know that I am free, but what is but? What is but? What is but? बात नहीं करना, गपचुप, quietly contemplate, okay? If I am a Zen master, I should go around and with a stick in my hand and whack, so everybody. So if I do that in the meditation time, it will be very interesting. Because a Zen master always goes about whacking. He's got one thing, one flat thing. Really gives, whenever these persons are meditating, he goes walking around like nobody's business. He is supposed to sit and meditate also. No, he walks around. And then if somebody's head goes, gives one. You will be meditating upon this only. When I am going to get this? That's why I don't walk around. Anyway, so katham me syat, kada me syat, o vibho, iti ya buddhihi sudhrida. This buddhi means this desire, ichha. Takes a certain roots in you. This ichha is gained a certain depth, certain power to possess you. It's called tīvra ichha, moksha ichha, shubha ichha. Sa mumukshuta, vaktavya sa mumukshuta. First you say, moktum ichuhu mumukshuhu, a desire to be free. The person is a mumukshu. And then his disposition his inner disposition is mumukshuta. The status of being a mumukshu. Mumukshutvam. So, that is why mumukshu you say. Moksha ichha means it can be, moksha ichha means it is one of the desires. Mumukshutvam means the whole person is converted into a mumukshu and his status of mind. Whole person is a mumukshu. Moktum ichu mumukshuhu tasya bhavaha. Mumukshutvam. This is the fourfold qualification. We have not moved from qualification. Now we are moving. But he is moving very slowly. Ukta sadhana yuktena vichārah puruṣena hi kartavyo jnana siddhyartam atmana shubhamicchata. Ukta sadhana yuktena puruṣena vichārah kartavyah. Kartavyah. This is to be undertaken. kartavya. Kartavya means to be done, but here it is pursued. This is to be pursued. What is to be pursued? Vicharaha, inquiry. By whom? Purushena, by that person. Which person? Mukta sadhana yuktena. The one who has this fourfold sadhana. Born of living a life of dharma. Intelligent living. That's all. The life of dharma is intelligent living. So, Ukta sadhana yuktena purushena vicharaha kartavyaha. Vichara for what? Jnana siddhyartam. By which knowledge you will gain this freedom from samsara. For that knowledge, Atma Jnana, that is going to be talked about Aparokṣa Anubhuti. This immediate knowledge of Atma. So for this jnana siddhyartam, why do you want this knowledge? Atmanaha shubham icchata. By that person who wants shubha. Shubham means mangalam, moksha. The one who has got the shubha ichcha, moksha ichcha. It is called shubha ichcha. When you write a book, at the end you will say shubham. Mangalam ityartha. A grand finale. The jiva has been going around. A number of births, if there are a number of births, well, countless births already a jiva has taken. In this life, it has to find an end. That is called moksha. Atmanaha shubham icchata. This jnana siddhyartam vicharaha kartavyaha. I want moksha, why should I do vichara? These are intellectual. This intellectual, we are all becoming, already we are cerebral people. The left side is heavily loaded. We need some to offset this intellectualism. We need some emotion. As though fellow has no emotion. He is not addressing the emotion. If the emotion is dry, that means there is a lot of emotion inside. If you begin to address, then you have to be carried in bucket. because you will get liquefied. So, this emotion, there is no such dry intellectual in the world. The more dry the fellow is, the more emotions are waiting to explode. It's all some mechanism, defense mechanism, survival mechanism. Too much is there. Therefore, you don't touch that area. Raw area. Vulnerable. If you touch, you will liquefy. Then you have to carry him in buckets. This is that. I mean, the argument, is all intellectual. And what for? We should do something to achieve something. It tells here, notpadyate vinajnanam vicarena sadhanaihi yata padarthanam ki padarthapanam ki prakashena vina kvachit. Generally, we are used to this. If you have to accomplish something, you should do something. Sitting, you don't accomplish anything. Even if you have to win a lottery, you should buy a lottery ticket and then pray for it. And then see the newspaper and wherever the number comes, I don't know where does it come, you should find out. And then encash if there is any win. That much effort is necessary. So, vina karma, nothing is accomplished. This is our anubhava. Any successful person is a busy person. He achieved success because the person has been active. Now you want to get moksha. And sitting here, you want to get moksha. How will you get moksha? Without doing anything. You have to do something. At least stand on your head daily. Reverse your vision. So standing on your leg, you look at the world in a way. Stand on your head, your vision is reversed. All dvaitam becomes advaitam. What is dual becomes non-dual. Everything is reversed. You have to do something. There is nothing. It's all intellectual. This is a problem. Some kind of a whiplash. For some time we emphasize too much intellect. Now we are afraid of intellect. And if I say something, you argue with me, which is intellect again. You argue. We need to be emotional. That is an argument. Hey, be emotional. Why are you arguing? Be emotional. But argues. He emotionally argues. You are basically a cognitive person. Yeah. Because If you open your eyes, you see first. Afterwards, and all that. But you see first. You see first. And afterwards you want it or you don't want it. Correct? All your emotions come later. First you see first. You are cognitive. At that time there is no desirer. There is only a seer. There is only a hearer. Basically you are cognitive. First cognitive, last cognitive. That is the truth about you. We are talking of a padartha, a vastu. We are talking of a reality. A reality is not to be produced by action. Unless you are making a compound, some mix-up you do, like khichdi making. Then you are making khichdi. And rice, dal all put together in salada. A lot of things put together. But when we are talking of what is, not what can be put together, we are talking of what is. It is jnanam. It is knowing as it is. Knowledge is always as true as the object of knowledge. There is no your contribution here. In fact, you should not contribute. If you contribute, you will distort. Personal contribution to what is. That's called projection. You don't contribute anything. As it is. Vastu as it is. Jnanam. Vastu tantram. As true as the object is. Therefore, jnanam na utpadyate. Knowledge of a vastu is never born. Anya sadhanaihi vina vicharam. Vicharena vina. Here it is vichara. Vichara of what? Pramana vichara. Because Atma is not available for objectification for you to do vichara. You can't take the Atma to a lab. Some people say that also. In the subjective lab of meditation, Atma is analyzed. They're all very poetic. You know. There is no lab. You can't objectify yourself. If Atma happens to be Brahman, it's Brahman. I don't know. I don't know. If Brahman can reveal itself, it must be revealing itself. It doesn't reveal. I am self-evident being, and I feel I am small. I have reason for it. I can prove how I am small. You can prove also. Everybody knows. It's a prasiddha vishaya. I am small, insignificant, time-wise, any-wise you look at me, I am small. And therefore, if I am the cause of this entire world, Brahman, it is not even a believable probability. Not even a remote probability. It is blasphemous. God is the cause of the world. I am because. There is no way of equating both. If there is some truth in all this, what is the pramana? Shabda. Therefore, vichara, when the word comes vichara, it is pramana vicharena, shabda vicharena. Shabdatmaka pramana vicharena. By inquiry into the words revealing the truth of Atma. Without that, how knowledge I am going to get? Vicharena vina jnanam na utpadyate anya sādhanaihi. By no means I can get except this. Even other pramanas are useless here. My eyes and ears are useless here. Other pramanas anya sadhanaihi, anya pramanaihi, or any type of karma has nothing to do with this. Like even yatha patartha bhanam prakashena vina kvachite. If there is an object in your room to be picked up by you, and the room is dark, how are you going to find it? Especially it is a particular letter. a particular letter. With an address on. Prakasham vina. Without light, padarthasya bhanam, an object does not come to light for your eyes to see. If the eyes have to see, the object has to be lighted. How bhanam prakasham vina padartha bhanam na vidyate, tatha, so too. For the Atma to be understood as Brahman, you require vichara, pramana vichara, shabda pramana vichara. Otherwise there is no way. This is the vastugati, this is the truth about the whole thing. Therefore, there is nothing intellectual. And if there is anything to be gained intellectually, there is nothing wrong also. There is nothing wrong. If you have to see an object, you have to use your eyes. There is nothing wrong in that. And this is how it is gained. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat